All right, what is up, y'all? It's Tony. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to y'all about how to wholesale real estate. Now, this is something I talked about last week, and I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper because I think it's something that'll really help people, especially trying to get into real estate investing. So what wholesaling is, just to recap, it's where you're reaching out to distressed property owners. So these people could be owners of properties that just are in terrible shape. So maybe they have mold on the building, they got roofs falling apart, they have foundation issues or tall grass, well, not the tall grass piece, that's just a symptom, but yeah, they just have a property that's basically needs a lot of work in order to be sold for retail. Now what retail is obviously with a realtor, that's just how you typically go through a home buying process. But what a lot of people don't know is that there's a whole nother side of real estate where people just sell directly to a buyer. No middleman per se. Now, wholesaling, you are the middleman. So it's a little bit different though. So wholesalers are more focused on investment properties. They try to find distressed properties, get them under contract, which means that they have an agreement with the seller to pay X amount of money. So to give you an example, so I'm reaching out to seller at 3128 Byers Avenue, and I offer him $100,000. I get it under contract for $100,000. He signs the contract, I sign the contract. Boom, perfect. Now I take that contract, I go to my cash buyer. I'm like, hey, I got this distressed property. It has an ARV of $250,000, which ARV is the after repair value, because again, it's a distressed property, probably needs some repairs. But I know that that market in that neighborhood, the after repair value of a similar property, which is called a comp, is going to be $250,000. So I tell him that. I'm like, hey, you know, would you be interested in this property? It's got a ton of value. Now my cash buyer is a fix and flipper. So he wants to go in and rehab the property and make a profit, just like myself wants to make a profit. And so, yeah, I go to him and I say, I'll give you this contract, my position in the contract, which is you sign the contract, to you for $110,000. And he says, yeah, I'll accept that. So boom, okay, so I have a contract with the seller, now I have a contract with the buyer. Two separate contracts. One is a contract, just your typical, for us it's TREC, Texas Real Estate Commission contract. And I go to him and I sign the contract to him. Now we take both those contracts and go to the title company that is running the transaction. They basically bring you through the whole process. And on the day of close, they take the money from our cash buyer and then they pay our seller that we found, the property that we found. They basically give the deed to the seller. Everything kind of goes normal. It's basically a transaction between them two. And you're just a person in the middle. And you get the spread right in between. So I get that $10,000 check from the title company. And boom, that's it. Now that's in a perfect world. There's things that come up. Deals go down or deals go south. All types of things happen in between. But in a perfect world, that's how it happens. Now, there's a couple ways that you get these deals because obviously nobody's just going to be knocking on your door saying, hey, Tony, would you buy my property for X amount? Like, no, unless you build an incredible brand, they're not going to be doing that. You have to go out and find the leads. So there's a couple ways you do this. The most common is probably running a direct mail campaign. Now, when I first started, I didn't even use any software that automated it for me, but now I do because it's incredibly easy. There's so many tools to do it. There's one called Deal Machine for real estate, and that is a fantastic one. Now, I wouldn't start there personally because the costs just get really expensive. If I were you, I would start with just, when you're driving around, because you want to go drive around, look for properties that are stressed, you write down properties that look like crap. Like if you see window AC units, mold on the building, roof falling apart, peeling paint, tall grass, car that's just not running, he's got flat tires in the driveway and whatever. Write those properties down in your phone somewhere and, get 10 leads or something. And then that night, go to whatever county those properties are in, go to that website, that county website, look at the property tax info and go through the records. You can type in the property address and it'll pull up the owner. And when you get the owner, get their name and get their address, and you want to write them a letter. And on that letter, you just say, "Hey, Bob, my name is Tony Reiner." I was about to say my last name. It's already on here. Tony Reiner. So, hey, I'm Tony Reiner. I'm a real estate investor here in DFW. I want to buy your property at blank address, 3128 Byers Avenue. Would you be interested in an all cash offer? I will accept your property as is and will pay all closing costs. I'm not a real estate agent. I am just looking for my next deal. Something like that. Leave your contact information, your phone number, and send the mail, just like that. And you want to do that over and over and over again. And you want to keep contacting these leads, and you want to keep adding new leads. And it's all about numbers, because you'll probably get a 1 to 2% return rate where people actually call you. But the people that call you are very interested because it's inbound lead. So that's probably the most basic way. Now, your marketing costs can go up quite a bit after a while because it does take a lot of letters and your hand will probably get tired from writing all of them. So I automated mine. I use Deal Machine for real estate, and that helps me a ton. Costs some money, but yeah, that's how it is. Outside of that, you can buy lists. So maybe you want to buy a motivated seller list. So pre-foreclosure, probate, divorce, or if somebody has a tax lien or an HOA lien, you want to reach out to those people. You buy a list, and then you can skip trace that list and just start doing cold calls. That's one way. You can text those lists, and all this stuff you're saying super simple. "Hi, my name is Tony Reiner. I'm a real estate investor here in DFW. Love to buy your property. Would you be interested in an all cash offer?" Something like that. Now, change your flavoring, whatever, but that's kind of the gist of it. And you just do that over and over and over and over and over until you get a deal. Now, I know that can seem repetitive, but most wholesale deals are $10,000 on average. So it's all worth it in the end. It might cost a bit of money upfront, but once you start getting some deals and you get deal flow, you can't beat it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. There's a couple other ways you can generate leads. You can generate leads on market on the MLS. I personally go to For Sale by Owner and just contact those people. Or you can find expired listings that expired from the MLS and reach out to those people. A lot of ways that you can find some motivated sellers. But the things you're looking for: timeline. So when did they want to sell? Their motivation. You want to see, why are they trying to sell? How much they're trying to sell for? And I forget the last one. I guess condition, property condition. You want to know what it looks like. And so usually they'll kind of tell you what it looks like, but after that you want to set an appointment to go see the property and walk it. And when you walk it, you want to take a ton of pictures, and then you go to your cash buyer so you can send them those pictures, and then you want them to walk the property too. And your cash buyer will have their own way of working, so you just gotta work with them on how they go about purchasing properties. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. You're just the middleman, kind of like a salesperson. So yeah, that's wholesaling for the most part. I can definitely talk more about it, but please just leave any questions you have below, and I'd love to connect. So anyways, that's today's video. I'll talk to y'all next week. See ya.